The final events on our Xtreme sports tour are tucked away here in the dampest of darkness. Starting with the Forbidden Caverns, the fourth and final inline skate track. Will you scale the crags or spill your guts? Right, time for the flag snag. This is easily the most elaborate of the inline tracks, with a nook for each cranny. Through this bridge, for instance, as shown by the arrow formation in the background, we can drop right through to where the first flag is tucked away. But, and this is a rather big but, there's a secret path that leads down here as well, which I only recently happened upon during this particular playthrough. Now that's one royally righteous secret slide, yielding about 5k right off the bat. Now we want to stick to the hidden high roads for the rest of the flags. Oop. There we go. It's possible to get this flag without having to double back, but you gotta time your jump just right. A couple careful jumps off the end of this rail will put us on track to grab the rest of the flags hidden up in these catacombs, which can definitely be disorienting at first. I know I took quite a few spills my first time back here in a while, but you get used to it after a few tries, much like an actual cave bat honing its senses to get around underground. Our speedrun goal is once again a nice solid 46 seconds. With a speedrunner's mindset, one may not even realize it's possible to fall through the gap in the bridge, since if you're going over at full speed, you'll simply Mario your way across. As with any other inline speedrun, the actual path we take doesn't matter so long as we don't crash. A good opportunity to show off the second half's lower path. And that, class, is where the stalagmites would be located. Our technical goal is 10,000 points in 55 seconds, which is in fact possible to do without the secret slide back at the beginning. Again, I had no knowledge of this thing when I first recorded this until I went back just for laughs, wondering why there was a hidden passage that ended in a grindable slope off to the left of the waterfall's base. Funny how Guppy glides right over it as she approaches the starting line, further adding to its elusiveness. But yeah, if you keep throwing down plenty of spins in between all the big grind spots, you don't even need the secret slide. What a sloppy finish. I meant to do this. The Cave Crusade kicks off with May, who questions the legalities of cavernous contests. This is DJ. No secret passage gets away from this skating sleuth. Lou's currently contesting the currents of the poolside path down here. We can cruise along by taking the middle current on the left, then taking the current pointed up in the center. Larry always puts his best foot forward, but still finds himself falling into the worst situations. Ellie thought she saw a big-footed beast down here. Are you sure it wasn't just Larry? Those are some stonkin' stompers he's got. A doubly extreme diet and exercise plan. That's how Soyeon stays so thin. Scrashy's talk of the bird statues down here give this place somewhat of a Metroid vibe. especially when I hear about all the exploring and backtracking Katie did to find the flags. You'd think this goon wears his sunglasses at night, watching the way he weaves on the course. Huzzah and kudos! We've broken 400 medals, giving us access to the monster hut at long last. Of course, this bonehead will still try to bury the truth about the missing artifacts. I don't exactly dig bone-faced fibbers. Well, we could swing by the monster hut now and close the lid on this case, but as long as we're down here, let's press on towards the innermost innards of this rocky maw for Chapter 2 of this cave story. Just up here is Half Pipe Heights, the fourth and final skateboard track. Minor spoiler alert, but there's a reason this place is the last one to be unlocked. At least when it comes to optimal flag fetching. Ideally, we want to get all the flags with 10,000 points in 2 minutes. Now there's 3 major points of interest here. The first being this half pipe, where your view is somewhat limited, making it more of a challenge to line up for a proper landing. That's why I like to try and get enough air to clear the foreground before I start spinning. At least we don't need to be here for long. The flag's just above to the left. On to the second test of might now with the girders. We'll want to hop up to the top area where a half pipe awaits. Again, squeezing in a few more points while getting the momentum needed for the third flag off to the left. Then landing on the second beam from the top, going back to the right. Taking careful leaps now up to the fourth flag. Then doubling back down left to grind out more points before hurrying back across to the final of the 3 trials. Taking the highway up to the skyway. The tricky thing about this part is that the half-pipe allows just enough air to reach the flags perched above, and time is tight. Failing the transition means starting over from square uno. The chains will guide your leap of faith to the final flag nearby. And that's a wrap, yo. Our speedrun goal is 50 seconds, and this is the one skateboarding time trial that can genuinely give you a run for your money. Quick feet, Gup, quick feet. She who hesitates is lost, but taking the lower path along the girders will help us win the day. Then just be ready to hop over, or in this case, wade through the last set of half-pipes, which I find to be a little slower, but safer. Better slowly than sorry, I suppose. Our technical goal is 10,000 points within 1:20. We can skip the first half-pipe entirely, since time's a tickin'. That and you should be able to easily get about 5k off the girders anyway. Even then, though, it doesn't hurt to try and hit any of the other rails along the way. Gah, these girders can be goofy sometimes. Come on, Gup, we're trying to make an impact here. Dash, dash, dash! Now just pick a pipe and get spinning, switching to hand plants as the clock starts to run down. So long as you don't miss any of the rails leading up to the girders, you should be grade A-OK. First up amid the spelunking skaters is Shirley, who's quite confounded by this cavern's construction. Mark's a regular four-alarm fashion disaster. Shannon's signed in ahead of me, but is still left behind on the leaderboard. To Violet, this place is just one big carnival ride, where a signed waiver is the only ticket you need. Fred looks to the trails in the sky to gain ground on the opposition. Tim knows how scary it is to be grinding those girders. They've got to be at least 25, maybe 50, heck, in some places even 100 meters off the ground. Cagney came prepared with plenty of protection and padding. Correction, she's got plenty of Lacey's protection and padding.
That's a nice load of medals you got there. Shame if something were to happen to him.
This goon's such a block-headed creep.
It's the final bonehead!
And did they ever save the worst for last? The following blooper reel merely covers the tip of the iceberg I kept slamming into in my efforts to top this rogue. I recall pretty clearly this being the only person I never beat my first time through as Finn. Between contesting with these girders' funky physics, and simply wondering if my jump button had stopped working. Jungle-ungle. When the gauntlet of girders wasn't grinding at my spirits, it was that transition to the final flags that would force me to wave a white flag of my own. Okay, you're not helping. Long story short, I worked for this one. Wait, we're tied across all three scoring criteria? That's never happened to me before. So I did all that for nothing? I can't see myself doing any better than that unless... oh. Eat it, Bone Brain! I flat out killed your record! You're dead meat, son. I wasted you! You know, it's funny how we as gamers tend to refer to those we've beaten as killed, even if they don't actually wind up dead as a result. Whether it be in a peaceful dancing contest, a friendly boxing match, or even a simple scuffle between Pokemons. But I digress, and shall egress from this dark hole knowing now that in the event of a three-way tie, priority goes to the player. 200 competitors and bad jokes later, we finally find ourselves on top as Grand Kahuna of the island with all 426 medals. I'm pretty sure that's all of them anyways. There's no in-game checklist. Of course, there's one last bit of business we need to take care of. I'm on to you, you soda jerk. Your scheme is about to be recycled. Ugh, not again. Be lucky I don't kick you in the change dispenser right here and now. No, we're gonna stand tall, march on, and settle this like a true sport.